I can't be sure of how much of what he told you. So, in the chance you're in the dark about some of this, let me shed some light.
That whore your boy hangs around with? Her pimp is an associate of mine. Not just pimping.
In other affairs, he works for me in a courier capacity. Well, apparently that dirty little whore found out when we're gonna do business.
'Cause your son, the cowboy in his flame, comes in blazing, and they don't stop until everybody's dead.
I'm talking about a massacre. They snatched my narcotics and hightailed it out of there. Would have got away with it, too. But your son, the fuckhead that he is, left his driver's license in the hand of a dead man.
You know, Sicilians are great liars. The best in the world. I'm Sicilian. I'm Sicilian.
I'm Sicilian.
I'm Sicilian. My father was the heavyweight champion of Sicilian liars. Growing up with him, I learned the pantomime. A guy's got 17 different things he can do when he lies to give himself away. 17 different pantomimes. A woman's got 20, but a guy's got 17.
But if you know them like you know your own face, they beat lie detectors all to hell. Now, what we got here is a little game of show and tell. You don't want to show me nothing, but you're telling me everything.
I know you know where they are.
So tell me. Before I do some damage you won't walk away from.
I can't be sure of how much of what he told you. So in the chance you're in the dark about some of this, let me shed some light.
That whore your boy hangs around with. Her pimp is an associate of mine. And I don't just mean pimping. In other affairs, he works for me in a courier capacity. Well, apparently that dirty little whore found out when we're going to do some business.
Because your son, the cowboy in his flame, came in the room blazing and didn't stop till they were pretty sure everybody was dead. I'm talking about a massacre. They snatched my narcotics and hightailed it out of there. Would have got away with it. But your son, fuckhead that he is, left his driver's license in a dead guy's hand.
You know, Sicilians are great liars. The best in the world. I'm Sicilian. My father was the world heavyweight champion of Sicilian liars. From growing up with him, I learned the pantomime.
There are 17 different things a guy can do when he lies to give himself away. A guy's got 17 pantomimes. A woman's got 20, but a guy's got 17.
But if you know them like you know your own face, they beat the lie detectors all to hell. Now, what we got here is a little game of show and tell. You don't want to show me nothing, but you're telling me everything.
I know you know where they are.
So tell me, before I do some damage to you, you will not walk away from.
Well, it's like that movie, An Affair to Remember. Did you ever see it?
Oh, God. Cary Grant and Deborah Kerr. Is it Carr or Kerr?
Okay, she's going to meet him at the top of the Empire State Building, only she got hit by a taxi.
And then she's too proud to tell him that she's, crippled.
And he's too proud to find out why she didn't come. But he comes to see her anyway. I forget why.
But it's so amazing when he comes to see her because he doesn't even notice that she doesn't get up to say hello.
And he's very bitter. And you think he's just gonna walk out the door and never know why she's lying there, like on the couch.
With this blanket over her shriveled little legs.
And suddenly he goes, I already sold the painting. And he like goes to the bedroom and he looks and he comes out.
And he looks at her and he kind of just...
They know.
And then they hug and it's so... God.
Well, it's like that movie, An Affair to Remember. Did you ever see it?
Oh, God. Carrie, Grant, and Deborah Kerr? Is it Carr or Kerr?
It's Kerr.
Okay, she's gonna meet him at the top of the Empire State Building.
Only she got hit by a taxi. And he waited and waited. And it was raining, I think. And then she's too proud to tell him that she's
crippled. And he's too proud to find out why she didn't come. But he comes to see her anyway. I forget why, but it's so amazing when he finally does see her, because he doesn't even notice that she doesn't get up to say hello. And he's very bitter. And you think that he's just gonna walk out that door and never know why she's just lying there with a blanket over her shriveled little legs. And suddenly he goes, I already sold the painting. And then he goes to the bedroom and he looks and he comes out and he looks at her. Then he kind of just, they know. And then they hug. And it's so good.
So it's a chick flick.
As you know, I'm quite keen on comic books, especially the ones about superheroes. I find the whole mythology surrounding superheroes to be fascinating. Take my favorite superhero, Superman.
Not a great comic book. Not particularly well drawn. But the mythology is not only great, it's unique.
Now, a staple of the superhero mythology is there's the superhero and there's the alter ego. Batman is actually Bruce Wayne. Spider-Man is actually Peter Parker. When that character wakes up in the morning, he's Peter Parker. He has to put on a costume to become Spider-Man, and it is in that characteristic Superman stands alone.
Superman didn't become Superman. Superman was born Superman. When Superman wakes up in the morning, he's Superman. The alter ego is Clark Kent.
His outfit with the big red S. See, that's the blanket. He was wrapped in as a baby when the Kents found him.
Those are his clothes.
What Kent wears, the glasses, the business suit, that's the costume. That's the costume Superman wears to blend in with us. Clark Kent is how Superman views us. And what are the characteristics of Clark Kent? He's weak. He's unsure of himself. He's a coward.
Clark Kent is Superman's critique on the whole human race.
It's sort of like Beatrix Kiddo and Mrs. Tommy Plimpton. You would have worn the costume of Arlene Plimpton, but you were born Beatrix Kiddo. And every morning when you woke up, you'd still be Beatrix Kiddo.
I'm calling you a killer. A natural-born killer.
Moving to El Paso. Working in a used record store. Going to the movies with Tommy. Clipping coupons.
That's you trying to disguise yourself as a worker bee. That's you trying to blend in with the hive. But you're not a worker bee. You're a renegade killer bee.
No matter how much beer you drank, or barbecue you ate, or how fat your ass got, nothing in the world would ever change that.
I loved someone too. And the person I loved, I lost. He was a boy, just a boy, when I was a very young girl.
When I was 16, I made the discovery, love. All at once and much, much too completely.
It was like he suddenly turned a blinding light on something that had always been half in shadow. That's how it struck the world for me. But I was unlucky.
Deluded. There was something different about the boy, a nervousness, a softness and tenderness, which wasn't like a man's.
Although he wasn't the least bit effeminate looking, still, that thing was there. He came to me for help.
I didn't know that. I didn't find out anything until after our marriage when we'd run away.
And all I knew was that I'd failed him in some mysterious way and couldn't give him the help he needed and couldn't speak of.
He was in the quicksands and clutching at me, but I wasn't holding him out. I was slipping in with him. I didn't know that. I didn't know anything. Except I loved him unendurably, but without being able to help him or help myself.
Then I found out, in the worst of all possible ways, by coming suddenly into a room that I thought was empty, which wasn't empty, but had two people in it. The boy I married, and an older man who had been friends with him for years.
Afterwards we pretended that nothing had been discovered. Yes, the three of us drove out to Moonlight Casino very drunk.
We danced the Varsuviana.
Suddenly, in the middle of the dance, the boy I'd married broke away and ran out of the casino. A few moments later, a shot. I ran out. We all did. All ran and gathered around the terrible thing at the edge of the lake.
I couldn't get near for the crowding. Somebody grabbed my arm. Don't go any closer.
Come back. You don't want to see. See. See what? Then I heard voices. Alan! Alan! The gray boy.
He'd stuck the revolver into his mouth and fired. So the back of his head had been blown away. It was because, on the dance floor, unable to stop myself, I suddenly said, I saw. I know.
You disgust me. And then the searchlight, which had turned on the world, was turned off again,
and never for one moment since has there been any light that's stronger than this kitchen candle.
You can dance every dance with the guy who gives you the eye. Let him hold you tight. And you can smile every smile for the man who held your hand beneath the pale moonlight. But don't forget who's taking you home and in whose arms you're gonna be. So darling, save the last dance for me. Oh, I know that the music's fine, like sparkling wine. Go and have your fun, laugh and sing. But while we're apart, don't give your heart to anyone. And don't forget who's taking you home and in whose arms you're gonna be. So darling, save the last dance for me. Baby, don't you know I love you so? Can't you feel it when we touch? I will never, never let you go. I love you oh so much. You can dance Go and carry on till the night is gone and it's time to go. If he asks if you're all alone, can he walk you home? You must tell him no. 'Cause don't forget who's taking you home and in whose arms you're gonna be